All right, so section 2-4, deductive reasoning. So let's start with some review of vocabulary. So let's write the converse of each conditional statement. Oh, oops, I just scrolled a little too far there. All right, so if I am thirsty, then I drink water. So the converse would be, remember this is the opposite here, so we would say if I drink water, then I am thirsty. All right, how about this one? If the car outside is wet, then it rained. So I would write if it rained, then the car is outside is wet. All right, vocabulary, let's add to our list. Deduce. So what does that mean? Deductive or deduction? To deduce is to use known facts to reach a conclusion. Main idea, when you use general principles and facts to come to a conclusion, you deduce to conclusion. Your friend is wearing red today. He wears red only when there is a home game. You use these facts to deduce that there must be a home game today. Okay. So let's use our vocabulary in sentences. You use blank reasoning to draw conclusions based on facts. So we use deductive reasoning. The conclusion of your reasoning is a deduction. The teacher will not deduce that a dog ate your homework. All right, so here's a property. This is called the law of detachment. So this law says if the hypothesis of a true conditional is true, then the conclusion is true. So if P implies Q is true, then P is true, and P is true, then Q must also be true. So if we know the whole statement is true, we know the hypothesis is true, then the conclusion must also be true. So using the law of detachment, if there is lightning, then it is not safe to be out in the open. Marla sees lightning from the soccer field. So first step, we underline the hypothesis of the conditional and circle the conclusion. If there is lightning, then it is not safe to be out in the open. So the hypothesis, there is lightning. The conclusion, it is not safe to be out in the open. Underline the correct word or phrase to complete each sentence. So Marla sees lightning from the soccer field. Okay, fits the hypothesis of the conditional. Okay, so she saw lightning. Therefore, we can conclude it is not safe to be out there on the soccer field. Okay, so this is a law of detachment type of problem. All right, so the law of syllogism. So you can state a conclusion from two true conditional statements when the conclusion of one statement is the hypothesis of another statement. So in symbols, if P implies Q is true, then Q implies R is true. We also know P implies R must also be true. This is also kind of like in algebra class, the transitive property. So for example, if it is July, then you are on summer vacation. If you're on summer vacation, then you work in a smoothie shop. So skipping the summer vacation part, if it is July, then I must work in a summer shop, right? So that's where we work. You work in a smoothie shop. All right, same thing with number 10. If a figure is a rhombus, then it has 4 sides. If a figure has 4 sides, then it is a quadrilateral. So therefore, if a figure is a rhombus, then it is a quadrilateral. Okay, so let's try to use the law of syllogism. Okay, what can we conclude from the given information, and well, what is your reasoning? So if a number ends in 0, then it is divisible by 10. If a number is divisible by 10, then it's also divisible by 5. So let's identify P, Q, and R. P, a number ends in 0. Q, a number is divisible by 10. R, a number is divisible by 5. So decide which of these parts is true or false. So does P imply Q? Is that true or false? Okay, if the number is ended by 10 is divisible by, if it ends in 0 is divisible by 10, that's true. All right. Next part. If a number is divisible by 10, is it also divisible by 5? That's true. So if I know both of those are true, is the final statement true? Yes. Okay, circle the part of the law of syllogism that I will write. So I'm going to write P implies R. So we're going to write our conclusion. If a number ends in 0, then it is divisible by 5. All right, let's see if we can put these all together now. So what can I conclude from the given information, and what is my reasoning? So if a river is more than 4,000 miles long, then it is longer than the Amazon. If a river is longer than the Amazon, then it is the longest river in the world. The Nile is 4,132 miles long. So P, a river is more than 4,000 miles long. Q, a river is longer than the Amazon. R, a river is the longest in the world. So, using the law of syllogism, if a river is more than 4,000 miles long, then it is the longest river in the world. Okay, so using the law of detachment, then the Nile must be the longest river in the world. Okay. So, if possible, make a conclusion from the given statement. So, if a figure is a three-sided polygon, then it is a triangle. Well, figure ABC is a three-sided polygon. So, what must be true? I don't know. So, P, a figure is a three-sided polygon. Q, a figure is a triangle. Okay. So underline, the second statement matches the hypothesis of the first statement. I can use the law of detachment. So we're going to write the conclusion. Figure ABC is a triangle. All right, so what went wrong here? Birds that weigh more than 50 pounds cannot fly. A kiwi cannot fly, so a kiwi weighed more than 50 pounds. All right, so write birds that weigh more than 50 pounds as a conditional statement. If a bird weighs more than 50 pounds, then it cannot fly. Write a hypothesis of the conditional. A bird weighs more than 50 pounds. So a kiwi cannot fly matches the conclusion of the conditional. The student incorrectly applied the law of detachment. All right, so that is the end of this section.